What we're gonna do today,
ground venison,
whitetail, a little piece of kidney. This has lots of vitamins and minerals, pure fat, nature's delicacies right here.
Go through a basic breakfast.
Sift out the egg.
Cheers. Basics on the breakfast is just gonna be the pros and cons, address some of the common questions that people have. All right, what's up, carnivores? So this video is just a quick, simple rundown of a breakfast that I had with my neighbor Stan and Alex, and also good friends. I just thought it'd be fun to kind of show the perspective and maybe address some of the common questions that people have when they're eating this way from nose to tail. I'll kind of walk through some of the things. I'll talk about a little bit how the food is preserved, how long it lasts. And I'll go through a bit of the pros and cons of the things and go through a basic breakfast. It's not super advanced. For the most part, the basics on the breakfast is just gonna be venison that we hunted earlier this year, and that's going to be basically just venison, ground venison burgers with some ikora, some raw beef fat, which is basically beef fat from White Oak Pastures, and then I've got some kidney as well, some grass-fed beef kidney from White Oak Pastures, I believe, as well.
All right, what's going on? So my buddy Alex here, my buddy Stan, gonna come over have breakfast, neighbors, and we're gonna do a carnivore meal. Alex has been interested in learning more about carnivore, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do some venison, and then we're gonna do some raw beef fat. And then I also have a special treat for them. I've got some kidney, and I don't know how ambitious they're feeling, so depending on how ambitious they are, we might do a little bit of the myoglobin, a little bit of blood, but we'll definitely do some eggs, we'll do the venison, and the beef fat, and we'll do the kidney. I'll show you how that all kind of goes about. So Alex, as a general consumer, learning the carnivore diet, is there anything in particular you have questions on about any of these food items?
It's mostly where to get them and when to eat them.
Got it. So eating and like when to eat is kind of a preference thing, so it kind of depends on your goals. A lot of people will eat with carnivore usually like 2 meals. They'll do a breakfast at like mid-morning. That usually works really well for a lot of people, and then they'll do like an early dinner, and then that kind of keeps it intermittent fasted, so you're eating within a 6 to 8 hour window, and then the rest of the time you're just generally not eating if you can help it.
Carnivore Kurt, I notice a lot of the stuff is in your fridge. How long does it stay good for?
So all the stuff in the freezer, like meats, fats, organs, even this deer meat, me and Stan hunted this in January, so this is about 7 months old, but it'll be totally fine. So as long as you keep it frozen, this stuff will last for, literally could last for like years.
Oh, you put the beef fat in your freezer, huh?
Most of these fat I put in my freezer. What I'll do is I'll take out organs and fat the day before, and I'll kind of thaw it out, and then I'll let it be like the way I want it for when I'm gonna eat it. Once it's thawed out, usually you want to eat it within a few days. So it kind of depends on the actual food. So for example, here we have raw kidney. It's still basically frozen right now, but what we'll do is we'll actually take this, and this will last like a day or two, but it'll get really funky after a couple of days. So I wouldn't recommend having a raw organ in your fridge for more than a couple of days. So you just want to take it out in parts. And then it just depends on how kind of fresh it is and how the status of it is when you pull it out. Sometimes they're a little bit more funky, so you'll have to kind of play with that. But generally speaking, we'll go through this in a matter of a day. So it's still basically frozen right now. It's really cold. So we'll come in here and we'll cut this up into cubes. I don't think Stan likes kidney very much. Zeke loves it though. Stan, can we give Zeke a little piece of kidney, or is that high risk? We have our carnivore here in the house. Come here, Zeke. This guy loves organ meats.
I mean, he wants the fat. He's just like me, he wants the fat.
Well, I usually do like 2 to 3 ounces, and I just salt it and then just kind of shoot it. You can chew it, you can swallow it.
It's good.
I'll take a couple of small pieces.
Yeah.
I'll take a lot.
Okay, so also to note, Alex, on this, you'll see there's fat here. This is just pure fat. This is called suet. So
you shouldn't eat that.
No, you can eat this. Absolutely eat this. Yeah, this has lots of vitamins and minerals and other things in there that are stored in there. All right, so we're doing kidney. I've been warming up the pan in the back here, and we're gonna do some venison here. And then I'll take out the ikora so you can kind of see that, because we did that yesterday. So this kidney is really fresh, so it's actually not too strong. What I would do is just 2 to 3 ounces. You can do this 5 days a week. This stuff doesn't have nearly as much vitamin A as the liver does, so generally speaking, it's pretty safe to have it more frequently than liver. So I just cut it up into like bits like this, and I eat it raw. Some people like to cook it up on a pan, and they'll put salt on it. You can put maybe a little bit of ghee butter if you want. If you tolerate ghee well, you could do
You can prepare it a variety of ways. Some people like to cook it in a slow cooker and mix it in with like bone broth. You can do all kinds of things. This is beef fat. So this is just raw fat right here from White Oak Pastures. You can still see there's some of the meat that's still on here. There's also some tendons in here. So this is a tougher part of the beef fat. A lot of times it'll just be pure fat. Other times it'll be more tough like this. And so the general rule with this is just cut it up so that you have more swallowable pieces, because they tend to be harder to chew. And you also want to make sure you just cut the tendon, because the tendon will be tough to kind of chew up. And so you just make them into smaller cubes. And with this, you definitely eat this raw. You can use it as a sort of cooking anti-stick if you want to warm up the surface of the pan and put a little bit of a layer of fat on the bottom. Don't go too heavy with that though, because it can cause gut issues if you have too much liquid in the pan of liquid like rendered fat. So that's why I prefer it when it's raw. It's just easier to eat that way, and it's more tolerable. For the amount of fat we're doing, because it's breakfast, I do quite a decent amount. I would say the calorie macro on this will probably be like 65%, 70% fat for us. This one's really tough. But this is the same stuff you had yesterday, so it's pretty much the same. This is from the same source and same batch, and it's just you just kind of snack on it like that cheese. Just kind of take it. That's that. For the deer, venison.
Nice toss. You see that right in the bowl.
So for the venison, we took it out last night. This is whitetail from Central Texas. It was processed by Hudson Meats, which is the meat processor in here. It's just going to be a grind of everything, basically all the parts of the animal. So it'll be pretty dang good. And I think I'll do 2 pounds for you guys. See how you do with that, because I did have my breakfast a little earlier. I just made this into burgers, so I would just do probably 3 to 4 burgers in this. Just kind of.
Could you just make ground beef out of that?
Yeah, this is ground beef.
So you can just throw it in the pan, let it like chop up on its own.
Yeah, you just cook it like a burger.
Okay.
Yeah, put salt on it. If you want to do like some sort of ketchup, you could.
Are there a bunch of different types of organs in that?
No, this is just going to be the entire deer.
Okay.
So it's going to be like random cuts of the deer.
Okay.
Yeah. The other stuff we had yesterday was Force of Nature.
Yes.
And that's the stuff that would be blended with heart, liver, and I think even one of their blends might have part kidney in there, but they definitely have heart and liver in there. Now this is Ecora. You had this yesterday.
I love that.
This is salmon roe, one of nature's delicacies right here. So tablespoon of this a day keeps the doctor away.
How many calories are in this breakfast?
Probably about probably 1,500-1,600 because of the density of the food. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, you gotta think about it, right?
Now, I thought you were only supposed to have 2,000 calories a day.
Well, I mean, that depends on your basal metabolic rate and your body composition, but that's way too low for me. If you want to really lean down, you could, but that's not a good goal for a lot of people if they're eating and they're exercising and they're a normal weight and they're trying to build. So I wouldn't recommend 2,000 calories to most people, but it depends on your plan. So these will cook up. Stan wants some eggs. You want to do raw egg yolks like you did yesterday?
Whatever you recommend, Kurt.
All right.
I'm on the Kurt diet.
Stan, you want like 2 sunny side up?
I'll take 3.
Okay.
Now, you made that egg white yesterday, didn't you?
This one's different. This is from this morning when I had 3 eggs.
Okay, so here's the same question. How long is that egg white good in the fridge for?
A day or 2.
A day or 2.
I usually eat
quick,
them that evening.
Okay.
I sift out the egg whites in the morning. There's more protein in there, and you want to cook the egg whites if you're going to eat them. And then the egg yolk has all the actual vitamins and nutrients.
Now, my parents would disapprove of having eggs for dinner. What would you say to them?
Because of like what, foodborne illness or?
No, just because it's weird.
Oh, I mean, a lot of what we're eating is weird, so I would say people would argue that eating a raw kidney would be pretty gnarly, or eating raw fat would be kind of like a...
Well, they just say eggs are supposed to be eaten in the morning and not at night.
Well, we're having them for breakfast, so I don't know what the problem is.
Breakfast all day, baby.
Breakfast
all day, baby. Breakfast all day.
We just break it fast here. So this is
Oh,
you.
this is for me. Okay. Cheers. Love it. Why cook?
We got some of our venison cooking here.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell me if I overdo it. Good. All right.
Oh yeah, you're plenty good. You can put on the fat too.
Why not? I'm just gonna make it here and I'll dip it in.
There you go.
All right, breakfast time.
How's it taste?
Oh yeah, it's good. I love it. This is the kidney, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, I ate the kidney first because this is more of my snack I like.
The venison's cooking right now. It's gonna be gamier. Have a good flavor to it. Pretty wild. All right, so here we have Ecora. We've got some raw kidney. We've got some beef fat. We've got egg yolks, fully egg, cooked up eggs with sunny side up. And then we've got about 1.5 pounds of venison burgers right there. Alex is slowly working his way through this meal. What did you think of the kidney, Alex?
The kidney, yeah, it was I think it chews fine. You get used to it after one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It tastes fine, especially with the redmond salt. I like salt. You know, salt makes everything.
Yeah, that's the real salt. Really, it kind of adds a nice touch to everything for sure. Breakfast champions, man.
Thanks, man.
Power you all day.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You had a little bit of a unique wake-up call this morning.
You grab that salt too. Thanks, bro.
Thank you, Kurt.
You got it, boys. So thanks for watching. Put comments below. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, share it, like it, comment below. Let me know what works for you on your breakfast routine. Do you have some really solid go-tos? Earlier, I forgot to mention we also added some eggs in there. So eggs is also something that I pretty much regularly consume. I focus on getting soy and corn-free eggs to optimize the polyunsaturated fatty acids in the poultry and in the eggs that they produce. And I find that that gives me the highest quality egg. And it's something that I just want to stay away from in the modern diet that we have. I don't think we're ancestrally consistent for that. So thank you so much. I will talk to you soon.